Beautiful woman spends all her savings on an old farm. Built around green mountains and green trees. Mother hands build blue swimming pool. Just to roam freely in it. It has been a few days since the main pool was built. Thinking about swimming in it. Nuanyuan is excited beyond words. You're working, you're full of energy. Finally looking forward to the hardened swimming pool. Time on the ground and walls. He compared cement to sand. Mix it together. After mixing well. Dig a small hole in it. Add enough water to it. Then you can mix the concrete evenly. Put the repaired concrete in a cart. Then transport it to the pool. You start by putting a wooden board on top to set it. Then use the Moni knife on the wall. Apply a layer evenly. Concrete, by the time this wall is coated. Simple leveling of the wall with the help of a wooden board. And finally, a grinder. Carefully grind the wall to be smooth. It has to be done regionally. Otherwise, it will take a long time. The concrete will dry out quickly. It's even harder to polish it. Follow this step. The warmth has smoothed out all the walls of the swimming pool one after another. After the inner and outer walls of the swimming pool are hardened. He was going up a staircase. Easy to enter and exit the pool. Make a gentle slope with planks. Spread a few steel bars vertically on it. Fix 110 centimeters each horizontally. It was tied tightly with wire. Crisscrossing arrangement. It makes the stairs stronger. After the steel bars are laid, fix a wooden board on both sides of the gentle slope. Stereotype, and then you can layer it with concrete. Finally, smooth it with an ink mud knife. The stairs still need to wait until the gentle slope of the rubber shaft is dry. To continue building, Nuanyuan can only rest for a while until the gentle slope is complete. Dry. He brings sand and cement directly into the pool. Concrete with bricks. The shape of the staircase. Complete a total of 6 steps. You can go to the top. Time for step hardening. Come to the corner of the swimming pool. Before the ground hardened. You also need to reserve the drainage pipe of the swimming pool here. Convenient for future cleaning and drainage. After sealing the 4 weeks of the pipe with concrete, he spread the remaining concrete across the ground. After the steps are solidified, then use the wooden board to assist in smoothing the steps. The steps after wiping are angular. The surface is delicate and smooth. Wait until the concrete on the surface of the swimming pool is dry. There is only one last step left. And that is to put a nice coat on the swimming pool. Sky blue is definitely the most suitable color. None of them. Carefully paint every inch of the wall with a small brush. After repeating it a few times, the walls are delicate and uniform in color. Naturally, the steps cannot be missed. The exterior wall is warm and choose milky white, in stark contrast to the sky blue inside. The swimming pool is completely completed. The bamboo shoots have been dried for a few days, has metamorphosed into qualified bamboo shoots. It's all put away and there's a big bag. Considering the current economic situation, Nuanyuan is going to carry these bamboo shoots down the mountain and sell them. Change some money, anyway, one person can't finish it at all. A long walk. Crossing a small bridge. To the bustling town. It's raining lightly now. After all, Nuanyuan came to a small supermarket. I exchanged dried bamboo shoots with the boss for some change. Then I bought some daily necessities here. Bought some eggs. All kinds of small snacks. And the drink you have to buy every time. Wait until the rain stops. Nuanyuan is on her way home. Carrying home a full trophy. The footsteps are much lighter. Back home in the swimming pool. It has been filled with water. He walked slowly into the pool. Start enjoying this hard-won moment. Soaking in pool water. Let Nuanyuan forget the fatigue of these days. Is it time to eat? Walking out of the pool all night long. Go back inside and put on some clean clothes. Start by lighting the wood in the stove. Put a pan on top. After adding some cooking oil, break a few of the eggs you just bought into it. Soon the eggs will be cooked. It just doesn't look good. But it doesn't matter. Does not affect consumption. Warm some ketchup on a plate. Sitting at the dinner table and enjoying it like eating Western food. Also paired with delicious drinks. In fact, as long as you eat the food you love. Who can say that this is not a sumptuous meal? There is a gap between the swimming pool and the courtyard. Nuanyuan plans to make use of this place. He fetched the bamboo pole that had not been used up before. Use a small bamboo pole to measure the depth of the gap. You take your little handsaw and you start working on these thick bamboo poles. Saw them into segments. Then use a machete to cut one end of the bamboo pole. Cut out some grooves. 4. It can jam the bamboo pole on it during installation. That's all. Assemble several shelves in the gap in turn. Next, spread a few long bamboo poles on it. After sticking some bamboo pieces on the card, lay down another layer of planks. The flower stand is ready. Warm up on it. Arrange a plate of flower pots in unison, and fill it with nutrient soil. Then you can transplant the flower seedlings into it. As soon as it was planted, butterflies came smelling the fragrance of flowers. Nuanyuan, quickly water these flower seedlings. Expect them to thrive. bloom more beautiful flowers. He's going to build a gazebo by the pool. It doesn't take up yard space. It's as hard as building another swimming pool. You need to build a few pillars in the open space first. A small platform is connected to it. Red bricks and cement are naturally indispensable. Stagger the red bricks in pairs, stacked up next to the wall, until the fishyard wall is flush. After 2 pillars are built at the root of the wall, the other side also builds 2. Only 4 pillars can support the entire countertop. Wait until the pillars are ready. Warm, waste wood removed from the wooden house before moving in. These planks are of poor color, but under the gazebo, there is no problem with load bearing. With a chainsaw, cut them to the right size for the countertop. Then Nguyen uses a few bamboo poles to support. Put a wooden frame on it. You can lay cut wooden boards on it until the entire countertop is covered, because the concrete will be poured on it later. So a few planks had to be reinforced around. One is to hold the planks below. The second is to be neat and beautiful. After the preparations are completed, warm up and put a plastic sheet on it. Expose the connecting surfaces of several pillars. In order to be stronger and more stable, it's covered with steel bars. And then, of course, it's carefully tied up and down with wire. Make sure the rebar doesn't misplace. After all the preparations are completed, now all that's left is to pour the concrete. It's not the same as usual. This time he is in the sand. Many stones are added to the cement. The addition of stones, it increases the containment and durability of concrete. Add the right amount of water, after turning them well, and we bring them up to the surface in a trolley. Nguyen flattened the concrete with a rake. Spread the entire countertop evenly, and then you put a nice layer of cement on top. When it's full, catch a plank. Smooth the surface. Wait until the countertop is completely dry, in order to continue the construction work of the body. Next, the author recommends a wilderness. Genuine books. He can teach people how to survive in the wild. More able to protect their own safety. Enhance your wilderness survival skills. Build a shelter. Building various traps in the wild. Making a tutorial outdoor ceiling. Wild survival genuine books. Don't miss it if you pass by. 2 days passed. The poured countertop is dry. Nguyen will start building the gazebo today. He has already prepared the necessary materials. Logs as columns, and the wide planks for the frame. Warm call. Bring life to these planks. Sand off a coat with a rough surface, until the original beautiful lines of wood are revealed. Finish sanding the wood. He uses a chainsaw. Remove the excess of the 4 logs. I think it is slightly higher in size as a column. Had to cut off. Next he measured with a ruler. With a pen on the dome, draw the shape to be cut. Then the long-lost bottle chisel appears again. Cut grooves on it according to the painted pattern. After these grooves are opened, it will save time and effort in the installation of subsequent gazebos. After the 4 columns are processed, Nguyen sawed the planks into uniform lengths. Then it corresponds to the groove opened on the column. Cut out the corresponding card slot at the top of the log, and chisel it and put it right back together. Test if the size is suitable. After confirming that it is correct, put the other end of the board. The corresponding card slot is also chiseled according to the size. The rest of the boards are also the same operation steps, until all the materials have been processed. Full of 2 columns and planks assembled together. The new model is placed on the countertop. Turn around and splice the frame on the other side on it. For smooth connection with the other 2 columns. Wait until the circle is assembled. Angle position fixed on a wooden board for support. Put a short one on top. And the logs are the supports on top of the pavilion. After, you still have a plank at an angle. After some beating, you can get the plank stuck in it tightly. After the bottom frame is done, and this is the top structure of the gazebo down here, use the open card slot. Assemble the 4 corners of the gazebo separately. Benefit from excellent craftsmanship. Let the 4 wooden gall fit perfectly. Nguyen divides the color steel plate in half from the middle. Cut into 2 triangles. Triangles are easier to lay. Also more in line with the top shape. After cutting, fix the color steel plate piece by piece on the top frame. Leave no gap between the plates. The splicing also only needs to be sealed with a layer of gusset. It can be airtight. After all installations are completed, a beautiful gazebo is just in front of you. Just standing quietly in a corner of the yard. It's okay to have tea here. Look at the scenery. After a period of air drying, the corn has been completely dried and dehydrated. It's also time to mop them and store them. Nguyen cleans the ground first. Prepare for follow-up work. Cleaning is complete. Remove all the corn from the shelf. Put it on the ground. Next he plucked all the remaining leaves, leaving only the corn itself. Soon a small hill was piled up on the ground. Wait until all the leaves are cleared. He brought in an old hand-cranked corn sheller. Although the machine is worn out, but it does not affect the use. Put a piece of corn in. Just shake it a few times. Corn kernels and corn cobs can be separated. Pretty soon, Nguyen finished detaching all the corn. After all, it's a machine detachment. There will inevitably be residual particles on the corn cob. You also need to check one by hand. Unscrew the corn kernels that are left on it. You can't throw away a bare corn on the cob. Put them in a bag. You can use it for future life after putting it away. Live cooking. The corn kernels on the ground still need to be sifted, because corn contains more bran blood and broken grains. In particular, chicken blood threshing has a high content of impurities. If it is not cleaned and stored, it is easy to cause heat, mold and pests. After sieving, put clean corn in a bag. Pockets are sealed. If you put it in a cool place, it won't break. This corn fills 2 big bags. Enough to feed the family's livestock for a while. Finish these. Nguyen put on a coat. Carrying a hoe to the cornfield. The corn planted some time ago. He's half a man tall. There are weeds all over the field. Don't clean it up in time. It will definitely affect the growth of corn. These weeds are just too lush. Each cage is a dense large area. Nguyen waved the hoe in her hand. Walking through the cornfields. The thin body is now full of energy. After hours of hard work. Finally finished all the farm work. The entire cornfield is covered with weeds. Clean up. The gazebo built a few days ago. It has not yet met the warm requirements. To be safer, but also for better appearance, he decided to do some fine decoration. The first thing to do is to put a fence around the gazebo. To smooth out the oxidized surface of the board. Expose the color of the wood itself. All polished and moved to the edge of the gazebo. Considering the subsequent painting issues, the few grain columns of the gazebo also need to be carefully polished. After sanding, it will increase the adsorption of the wood surface. Subsequent painting. Wood wax oil can better penetrate and adhere on wood fiber. It also extends the durability of coloring. Finally ended the battle in a cloud of sawdust. Next, measure the distance between the columns. Gather the planks to the right length. Sharp handsaw. Deal with the small. The sticks come very quickly. After processing is completed, and he was marking them one by one. Confirm the installation position of each railing. You also draw the center line on the wooden strip. When the lines cross, you get to the center. This is where the hole needs to be punched. Warm with a hole punch to punch holes one by one according to the position. Blessing of the machine. Make this work a lot less time and effort. Rows of small holes soon appeared in front of me. The finished planks are placed between the columns. And we put little wooden strips on it. On the edge, fix the wooden strip to the column with steel nails. Then install the wooden board with the same hole. Secure it carefully with steel nails. The back fence is ready. Have a first experience. I became much more proficient when installing the second fan. Install it the same way. The remaining third fence. All installed. There is only one last step left. That's the exterior of the gazebo, all painted with a layer of yellow wood wax oil. Wood wax oil can penetrate into the interior of wood. Not only can it enhance the surface hardness, it also extends the lifespan of the wood. Paint carefully on the colonnade. After painting it several times, the color is already very full. After the pillars are painted, fences must also be neat. The main thing is a coordination. No detail can be missed. Painted gazebo. Shown a bright yellow. Distinguished from the bright yellow of the wooden house is a brighter existence. I can't even imagine. How fast can you sit here drinking tea and rest? After cleaning the floor, Nguyen finally ended her day's work. The early morning warmth comes first to feed the fish in the pond. A few months passed. The fish in the pond have grown a lot. It looks like it won't take long to steam. After feeding the fish, he goes under the granary. Get some new corn that was harvested some time ago. Come and feed the chickens at home. To their dismay, they haven't laid an egg yet. It's still not nutritious enough. Nutrition needs to be strengthened. Feed hard. Strive not to go out to buy eggs. Wait until they are full. The pigs in the pigsty are already waiting to be fed. Warm and careful to match them with nutritious meals. After mixing various ingredients evenly, packed into plastic drums. Hurry up and feed the little pigs. The piglets eat one by one and are fat and strong. It will definitely come out next quarter. Today, Nguyen wants to make a soup. It has been placed under the gazebo. Draw lines on the prepared wood. And we saw them and we cut them along that line. After taking out the shallow groove, you can use the bottle mouth to chisel and fish for the excess part. Cut out the card slot at one end of the wooden board. Convenient for subsequent splicing of the chair frame. There are grooves in each leg. After all the locations are dealt with, splice together the card slots opened by the wooden board. One for a chair leg. A support for the seat. All fixed with steel nails. Install the frames on both sides in this way. After installation, lay a few wooden boards on the frame. And fixed with steel nails. The position of the backrest is also fixed with a few wooden boards, until the entire frame is covered. At this point, the sugar is basically done. So here's the last bit. It's called saccharism. Brush a layer of pavilion with the same yellow wood wax oil. Before that, the surface needs to be polished with an angle grinder. Polished wood finish. Color can better adhere. Polished. The sugar has been moved under the gazebo. Begin the final painting work. Brush it several times on the mint backrest. The legs of the chair can't be missed either. After all the brushes are done, you get a beautiful handful. Lounger yellow pavilion with yellow sugar puree. But it fits perfectly. Finish these. Warm up and fill the swimming pool next to it with water. I haven't swum in days. Take a good rest today. Take a cold bath. Enjoy life. You have to be self-sufficient in mountainous regions where resources are scarce. He's going to plant some onions on the left side of the cabin. Just entered September. Now is the best time to grow onions. Once the onions are harvested, it won't break for a long time. You can stock up and eat slowly. The ground is full of sawdust left over from the previously processed wooden boards. Nuan Nuan cleaned them all up. Then he put on his coat and walked towards the bamboo forest. He plans to plant in bamboo tubes. Not only is it more beautiful, it also saves space. After cutting a few, Nuan checked them home. First measure the width of the ground with calipers. Saw the bamboo pole into small sections according to this size. Due to the limited area of this land. So the thick bamboo pole only needs 3 sections. The remaining thin bamboo poles are also treated separately into segments. It's for nails. After all sawed. He hacked one end of these thin bamboo poles and it bled. The blood groove is convenient for subsequent assembly of the frame. They will be a strong support for the table. Here we go. He started working on these 3 stout bamboo tubes. The task is to remove the surface. Only an open bamboo tube is left. First use a small hand saw to saw out the gap on it. They saw them at intervals. After all sawed. Hit hard along the periphery with a machete. To remove the main board. Inside the whole bamboo tube, it's right there in front of you. The open bamboo surface is only 1/3 the size. The goal is to allow the barrel body to hold more soil. Warm and pit digging artifact. Dig a small hole in the ground. Enough size for bamboo tube insertion. They dig one every few miles. Wait until it's all dug. He took these short bamboo poles, put it all in and bury it carefully. Soil that forces Kang's surface. Ensure the stability of the framework. Subsequently, Nuan placed the 3 bamboo tubes on the bracket in turn. Benefit from the groove opened above. To be firmly placed on it. Before planting, you also need to make some small holes in the bamboo tube. The vegetables planted in this way can be ventilated and breathable. Effectively avoid water accumulation. It also protects the root health of vegetables. These potatoes go into the bamboo tube. Until it is filled. Get a pot of onion seeds. Bury the seeds in the soil one by one. The soil just doesn't go over the surface. Planting too deeply is not conducive to seed germination. Spray a shallow layer of water on it. Promote its rapid germination. The growth period of onions is close to 1 year. In addition to daily weeding and watering. Leave the rest to a long time. It's autumn in the blink of an eye. Agriculture. The oranges in the field have also come to harvest. Nuan is going to pick some today. Take it to the market at the foot of the mountain and sell it. Back basket. Take the plastic basket and walk towards the orange tree. This orange-green skin is thin. Delicate meat. Sweetness is still high, rich in vitamins and nutrients. It must be very popular to sell it. In order not to damage the peel, he didn't pick it by hand. He cuts the juice with a pair of small scissors. After all, picking by hand once the peel is torn. It is not easy to sell as a commodity. After a period of harvesting. It's twice as full of oranges. Plus a plastic tray. He struggled to carry the heavy bamboo basket. He chose to place his stall in front of a supermarket. There's a lot of people here. When everyone goes to the supermarket to buy something. I can buy some oranges by the way. Nuan borrowed a small wooden stool from the supermarket owner. Sitting in front of your booth. By the way, I also borrowed someone else's electronic scale. Then you start to welcome wave after wave. Of customers see such fresh oranges. Everyone has come here to choose. Not long after, a whole basket of oranges has been sold. Only a few left in the plastic basin. It was quickly sold out by the last wave of customers. Nuan returns the electronic scale to the supermarket owner. Pack your things. Go along the cement road. Before going home, I also need to use the money I just made to buy some chicks. Grow your flock of chickens. I went to the owner's house where the chickens were sold and carefully selected 20 pieces. After paying the money, start walking back. After making money, even the pace of going home is brisk. Don't put chicks and flocks together for now. They have to make a small world for them alone. Nuan sorted out the open space on the right side of the wooden house. Dig a circle of small gutters around. Then fix a few bamboo poles around for support. Wrap the plastic mesh around it in a circle. Bind the interface with wire. Make sure it doesn't fall. Then put 2 bamboo poles on it for support. The asbestos tiles removed from the wooden house, spread on top. A little machine is ready. Before the chicken moves in, we had to put some bone chaff on the ground. Make the land softer. Then put in all the chicks you bought. Arrange for them to have utensils for feeding and drinking water. Little guys, can't wait to start enjoying the food.